My desk is a mess, there's crap everywhere, I just haven't gotten a handle on things. So I'm going to tidy it up. I need coffee first. It's only 9 a.m. and the sun is already high in the sky and it looks like this, and it's actually boiling and it's early spring. That's disturbing. And this is Europe. What is this? Ooh, I have no idea. I went out to dinner yesterday with a friend. We are from two very different backgrounds. He is of a very Italian descent. He's part Italian, part Latin American. And obviously I'm Nigerian, I was born abroad. So we have very different backgrounds. I'm purely African, he's like sort of mixed. We were talking. And we like to catch up on latest series and whatnot. And we were talking about all the series that were out at the time and trying to decide what was good to watch, what wasn't good to watch. And he asked me if there was anything I would recommend. And I said, honestly, at this point in time, all I've been doing is watching crime reruns or rereading certain books. I haven't gone on to anything new. And he said actually that he'd been struggling as well to find new, just innovative, fresh stories, fresh ideas, just fresh anything inspiring, different, you know. And it just dawned on me that it's been this way for a while. We have been going through a sort of, especially with the movies coming from the US and the series coming from the US, it's been the same old. I know there's certain movies that are out now, like Sinners and whatnot. I haven't been able to watch that yet because I'm abroad and I don't go to the cinemas anymore. That, you know, they've come out and there's supposed to be really different people talking about them. I really want to watch it, but I have to wait till it's available on demand or whatever. And that will take a few months. And it got me thinking that there is a real issue with ideas and a real issue with inspiration and a real issue with the ideas coming out of the movie industry, and I believe the book industry as well, because everything is very, very staid, everything is very there's nothing different, there's nothing fresh, there's nothing exciting, it's just the same old. The last few books I've read, that I've purchased and I've read, have just been, you know, when you finish a book and you just finish it and you're like, yeah, I'm done, put it to the side, and you just carry on. There's no emotion to it, you're not moved, you're not angry, you're not scared, there's no emotion. And this is why I say to people that you have to be very good at documenting your own ideas. If you're going to write a story, if you're going to write a book, if you're going to work on a piece of art, you need to make it uniquely you. Because what we're finding is a lot of people are just retelling the same thing over and over again because they don't trust themselves, they don't trust their process, they don't trust their stories, because they feel it doesn't fit in the status quo, it doesn't fit into what Hollywood would want, or the book or the trad industry would want in terms of book publishing, or what people want. People have always wanted something different. They've always wanted something, I would say, revolutionary, something just very, very far away from where they're from or who they're from as people, who they identify as, because that is what storytelling is about. It's about letting people into this entire world that you've created, where that's completely different to anything else they've ever experienced. But we don't do that enough. I feel like we try to fit in, and I think that rather than trying to fit into anything, rather than trying to mold yourself into these standards that these people who have no idea where you're from, what you're about, your culture, the village or town you grew up in, they have no idea about it, where they try to get you to mold yourself into these blocks, and I feel like trying to fit in and be that person they want you to be just completely strips you of all the uniqueness and the unique storytelling abilities that you could actually be capable of. Now, sorry, my microphone's moved. Now, what I found with people is that, in general, you get, if you're like me, if you're anything like me, you will get over a certain amount of number of ideas or inspirations a day, over a certain amount, right? And I believe that when you get these many ideas, it's hard to act on them, especially when you are fighting those ideas because they don't fit in with what people or the gatekeepers will say that they need or they require. When I first started writing Heathens, when I first got the idea, I was told no one would want to read. I was toppled over there. No one would want to read books of that nature because it was too dark, it was too this, it was too that, and anything involving witchcraft in other parts of the world was just too. They were very, very obsessed with the idea of books about witches and more books about witches have already been written, so we don't need any more. And that's what they always tend to tell you, that this person's written this book, we don't need any more of this story. And that's not true, because you can tell the story from your very own unique perspective. And one thing I'll say is the way witches are viewed in Western society is very, very different to the way witches are viewed in different parts of Africa. West Africa, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa. It's very, very different viewpoints. I'm not so sure about North Africa, but I know in those three other regions, East, West, Central Africa, South Africa, it's viewed very differently, and witches play very, very different roles in society, and they are very, very different to the way we view them in Western civilization. So although, the story has been written, they've written about witches, you can bring your own perspective from your own culture, from your own point of view, from something you experienced as a kid. Those are the stories people want to hear, because those are the stories that are immersive, will take people away, will, just have them feeling different emotions, whether it's laughter or like they feel fear, or they feel anxiety. Either way, it'll bring something up in them. And that's why you need to write stories that are unique to you. In any given day, if you're like me, you're going to have so many different ideas for stories, so many different inspirations, especially if your brain is similar to mine. Get a little notebook or a notepad, but it's something you have to be able to refer to, and I want you to set a time of 15 minutes every day. Start with 15 minutes. Someone starting a motorcycle. Start with 15 minutes and just start with working on your ideas for 15 minutes a day. Just start with that. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and go for hours and hours and hours or go for a huge word count. Just try and do a little bit at a time, and that's how you build up your story and you build up your story bank and this world of creativity. So go forth and write. I hope inspiration finds you well. Don't try to write stories like everyone else. Try to write stories that are unique to you as a person and unique to your upbringing and your culture and wherever you are from in the world, because those stories are just what keeps us going. And yes, go forth, be happy, be creative.